Hi, it's Panda Movies here. Today, I'm going to explain the movie called Limitless. Warning, there are spoilers ahead. Enjoy the video. Eddie Morra is a struggling New York City author. His girlfriend Lindy breaks up with him because of his lack of progress, as well as his seeming lack of desire, motivation, and focus. Eddie runs with Vernon, his ex-wife Melissa's brother, who gives him a sample of NZT48, a new nootropic that Vernon claims can help Eddie with his creative issues. Eddie realizes that while on the drug, he has flawless recall and can analyze minute bits and information at breakneck speed. His landlord's wife starts yelling at him as the drug takes effect. He uses his newfound abilities to soothe her, assist her with her law school schoolwork, and sleep with her. His powers motivate him to clean up his apartment and provide him with a wealth of ideas for his book. Vernon is assassinated shortly after by someone on the lookout for the narcotic. Eddie tracks down Vernon's supplier and begins to increase his dosage. He chooses to start investing in the stock market as his life improves. He gets a job at a brokerage firm and rekindles his romance with Lindy. His accomplishment earns him a meeting with finance magnate Carl Van Loon, who puts him to the test by asking for opinion on a merger with Hank Atwood's firm. Eddie has an 18-hour memory loss after the meeting, which he refers to as a time skip. Eddie witnesses a news telecast the next day in a meeting with Van Loon that a woman has been slain in her hotel room. Eddie quickly exits the gathering after recognizing her as the woman he slept with during his time skip. Eddie notices that everyone who is on NZT48 is either in the hospital or dead. He was being followed by a man dressed in a trench coat. Lindy informs Eddie that she is unable to be with him while he is on medication. To avoid adverse effects, Eddie tests with NZT48 and learns to adjust his dosage, sleep routine, and food intake. He hires a laboratory to try to reverse engineer the drug, an attorney to block the authorities from looking into Vernon's or the woman's deaths, and 2 bodyguards to keep him safe from Gennady, a lone shark who is threatening him with more NZT48. Atwood goes into a coma on the day of the merger. Eddie recognizes Atwood's driver as the man in the trench coat and understands he's on NZT48 with him. Eddie's attorney snatches his supply of pills from his jacket pocket while he is in a police lineup. Eddie goes into withdrawal, and when Van Loon interrogates him about Atwood's coma, Eddie receives a package containing his bodyguard's severed hands. Before Gennady breaks into Eddie's flat and demands more NZT48, he rushes home and locks himself in. Gennady flaunts his powers while injecting himself with NZT48, explaining that the effects stay longer and the withdrawal symptoms are reduced by injecting it straight into the bloodstream. Eddie grabs his own knife and kills Gennady as he threatens to eviscerate him. Eddie then swallows Gennady's blood in order to digest the NZT48 contained inside. Eddie regains his mental abilities as a result of this, and he is able to murder the remaining thugs. He next meets with the man in the trench coat, assuming he was hired by Atwood to find additional NZT48. When Atwood dies, the two go to Eddie's attorney's apartment and grab his stockpile. Eddie has kept his fortune, published a book, and is running for the United States Senate a year later. Van Loon pays Eddie a visit and informs him that he has acquired the company that produced NZT48 and has shut down Eddie's laboratory. They both agree that Eddie will most likely become president of the United States one day, so Van Loon offers Eddie a continuing supply of the drug in exchange for Eddie's assistance in achieving his goals. Eddie informs Van Loon that he has mastered the drug and has successfully weaned himself off of it while maintaining his powers. Eddie and Lindy have lunch together. Lindy stares at Eddie after speaking Chinese with the waitress and wonders if he's actually off NZT. What? He asks Lindy, looking at her.